Good morning and welcome to Better Thyself segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. Human beings are ingenuous, inventive, and are prone to find solutions to their issues. And sometimes these are life changers. Could you have ever believed that glasses would be made to correct the weakening eyesight and the far-sighted people would be able to read? And then the blind would be able to read? And it's happening. And now the reading glasses are being replaced. Now don't be shocked. FDA 2 days back approved eye drops. And these eye drops replace reading glasses. Of course, not permanently, but they could potentially replace reading glasses for millions of people. The drops called pillow carpet, they'll be marketed as wheaty by pharma outfit Allergen. And millions of people who can afford would be able to use them and not use the reading glasses for reading purposes. The people who are farsighted and who need glasses for reading would be benefited. As a matter of fact, one drop in each eye, just one drop, can sharpen close-up focus up to 10 hours. And that's the reading time. You don't read more than 10 hours. The drops work by using the eye's existing ability to reduce its pupil size. So the pupil size would automatically be reduced. You know, when you go for the eye testing, they increase the pupil size. Here it will be reduced and you will be able to read. Reducing the pupil size results in, expanding the depth of the field and the depth of the focus that allows you to focus at different ranges naturally. There was a clinical trial, 750 participants participated in it, and then ultimately, based on all the research and all the trials, the FDA, as I told you, 2 days back, approved this. Now, one thing is that this is definitely expensive. For a 30-day supply, it's estimated you spend about $80. Pretty bad, but not too bad if you think that you can afford 2 cups of coffee a day at Timmy. Then it's not more expensive. And it's not a miracle drop, however. There are some side effects. You might have headache, you might have red eyes. And the company is warning not to use the drops while driving at night. The drops are mostly effective for middle-aged people. For those above the age of 65, they are not of much use. The value proposition is a matter of convenience. It's a matter of convenience. You can wear the reading glasses and read. But the people who are on the, say, dancing profession, acting profession, the girls who don't want to wear the glasses, the athletes, for them it can be good. Millions of the people can ditch them. It is, as I said, a game changer, but for a limited number of people. My purpose is to show that if human ingenuity can develop such things, then there is no limit. And then it goes on and on. Today, most of us, because of the media, because of the politicians, are worried about energy, polluting energy. So, have you ever touched the window panes in the depth of your window and have seen how cold they are? Equally in the summer, the south-facing windows can be scorching hot. and they can create a greenhouse effect in your house as a matter of fact, hot, humid and everything. So here come the energy saving glasses. This energy saving glass which you can put on your windows or your doors, the added benefit is it will reduce the cost of your household bills. Now this, what they have done is they have used the natural phenomena and they help save the energy in the process. If you look at your houses, you will find the least energy efficient parts of your homes are the windows. In USA alone, for example, window energy consumption accounts for approximately 4% of the energy produced. And that is the US Energy Department's data. So an international research team led by the scientists of Nanyang Technical University, Singapore, have invented a material that solves this problem. For the first time, they have developed a first-of-a-kind coating. When applied to a glass window, adapt itself both to cool and to heat the rooms. So this is a self-adaptive glass work. The window coating works by exploiting the spectrum of the light responsible for heating and cooling. When it's summer, the glass suppresses solar heat, and heat is near the infrared light. And what it does is it boosts radiative cooling. This radiative cooling is extremely useful, especially in the winters. And when the winter comes, the glass does the opposite. It suppresses the heat loss, warming the room. The coating material, now this is nanotechnology basically. The coating material contains no electrical component and is composed of the layers of vanadium dioxide nanoparticle composite. This is poly, which is called methynyl PMMA. It's a very low emissive layer. So this coating is done, and voila, in the summer you become cool, in the winter you become hot. It's it's air conditioning with no cost. And the beauty is that it can keep on self-tuning according to the changing temperature across all these. So once you have painted it, forget about it. You don't have to keep on adjusting your thermostat. Most energy-saving windows today tackle the part of the solar heat gain caused by the visible near-infrared sunlight. But they overlook the radiative cooling in the long wavelength. So innovations focused on radiative cooling have been used earlier. They have been used on the walls. They have been used on the roofs. You remember I had once talked to you. A white paint which comes on the wall if you paint it, your room would remain cool in the summer, but it would not become warm in the winter. Here, it becomes both warm and cool. So the first time a glass that can respond favorably to both wavelengths, meaning it can continuously self-tune to react to a changing temperature across all seasons. The question that was being asked us, that would it change to all? Yes, it would. It will work in all the climates. It can be polar climate, it can be equatorial climate. As a matter of fact, the tests have been conducted in 7 climate zones in the world. 7 different climate zones. And they have shown that in all the climate zones, in all seasons, both warm and cold, frost, it was effective. In fact, its overall energy saving performance is 9.5%. That means about 60 households in high energy consuming countries. There are countries which don't consume high energy. There are countries like USA, Canada which are high consuming, Singapore. So 60 households can get practically free energy with this, and that is something great. The results also prove the viability of applying our glass to different climates. That's what Wang Sheneng said. And this is different. This invention basically is making this glass a class apart from the current energy saving windows, because the present windows, so-called energy saving, tend to find limited use of regions with less seasonal variations. And not only that, the scientists say that they can make up the glass to suit the different regions and the markets. What they do is they simply adjust the structure and the composition of the special coating, layers of the glass layers. So it's expected that it will be available in the market shortly, and then that would be there. But with these innovations making the life changer, its new economic situation has developed. You are aware about deflation. You are aware about inflation, and nowadays everybody is talking about inflation, the way the prices are. But then there's a greenflation now. Greenflation, and that is putting renewable energy at risk. The price of high renewable energy projects is going up. It should not go up because renewable means they are already present. Wind will continue to grow, but the price will go up. And that's making the setting up the projects all the more difficult. When more of something like the solar panels for a renewable energy project can be produced on a larger scale, then the economies of scale are created. The overhead costs that are reduced by economy of large scale production should make the things go cheaper. But it's happening in a different way. The rising costs, the supply chain problems of the commodities and the goods needed for green projects are a long-term threat to the economic viability of the green projects. This green inflation is a strange phenomena that is being observed. As a matter of fact, it has always been there that the moment you increase the quantity, the cost per unit reduces. And here it's not happening. As a matter of fact, the European Bank of Reconstruction and Development stated very clearly that the trend which should be downward is showing an upward trend. And the reason is very simple. The prices of metals such as tin, aluminium, copper, nickel, cobalt have risen up to 91% this year. Naturally, these are used in the motors, in the generators, in the vibrators, and with the price of these going up, batteries for storage. So these metals are used in the technologies that are part of the green transition. And thus, this 91% increase is causing the greenflation. The global renewable energy market is valued at $881 billion. It's likely to double to $2 trillion by 2030 in one decade. But if the cost pari passu goes up by 91%, then it would become exorbitantly difficult to be sustainable. And all the efforts that have been undertaken would collapse. Despite inflation and supply chain disruptions, what we need is to reduce the financing cost. You cannot increase the production of these rare metals. They are there. The prices would go up. The more demand, the higher the price. But you can use to increase the number and extend the life of those projects, that way counteracting. So you will not actually get cheap money by anything that's climate risk preventive. And this is something which is, in fact, spoiling the market of the renewables, making it much more expensive and not possible, not sustainable for an ordinary person to use. This is something to be considered about, this green inflation. Yeah, green inflation. But nevertheless, I'm sure human ingenuity, human inventiveness would find a way out of this problem as well. And the green energy renewables would be here to stay. Thank you, and I shall come back to you next Thursday with more astonishing, innovative practices. Bye.